Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Reading Fundamentals. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about text features that help us understand how to find information in nonfiction books. So, we've read An Animal Community, and we talked about how we can find information in there. So, let's pretend that I don't already know a lot about prairie dogs, and I want to find out where they live. I can open up to my table of contents, and I can go through them and see what is a community, a prairie dog town. So that's going to tell me where they live. So I can find that on page 6. So I'm going to look down here at my page numbers. Here's page 4, 5, and 6. It says prairie dogs live in big communities. Their communities are called towns. Some towns are huge. They're deep in the ground. Towns have rooms and tunnels. So that was an easy piece of information to find because I know I can find it in the table of contents. Where would I look if I wanted to find out what prairie dogs' predators are? I'm going to go back to my table of contents, right? I'm going to look, and it says, what is a community? A prairie dog town, sharing food, prairie dog families, community daycare, working together, town guards, prairie dog teachers, communication, the rodent family, and words to know and index. Does it say anything about predators there? No, it doesn't. So I need to look somewhere else to find that information. Since the table of contents doesn't tell me, I can try looking in the index. So it says here the index is on page 24. So that's where I'm going to go to see if I can find out information on predators of prairie dogs. So here's my index, and now I'm going to see if I can find predators. It says communication, cooperation, families, food pages, guards. Ooh, predators. It says pages 16, 17, 18, and 20. So I'm going to go to those pages. 16. Ooh, it says town guards. Communities have police officers to protect people. Prairie dogs also protect their own from predators. Predators are animals that hunt and eat other animals. Foxes, coyotes, and hawks eat prairie dogs. So foxes, coyotes, and hawks, those are the predators of a prairie dog. That's pretty cool information, right? And it was really cool that we were able to find it back here in the index. That told us where we can find specific information about specific topics. But not all nonfiction books have an index. Some do, some don't. So let's look at this book. Let's look at Healthy Habits, okay? So let's try and locate some information together. We know a lot about taking care of our bodies because we live in our bodies. We know how to take care of ourselves, right? So we know how important it is to eat right and to do exercise and make sure we get some outside time. So let's look at the table of contents in Healthy Habits. Okay. It says, I'm going to read these to you and I'm going to ask you a question about it. It says, a healthy day, good food, clean and shiny, teeth talk, playing hard, don't dry out, snack attack, deep sleep, fun facts, glossary, read more, internet sites, and index. So Which chapter should we turn to if we want to know more about sleeping well? Am I going to go to good food? No. What about playing hard? No. What about deep sleep? Do you think that's going to give us information on how to sleep well and sleeping habits? Yeah, I think you're right. So that's on page 18. So I'm going to go to page 18. And I'm going to read. It says, deep sleep. And here, I'll let you look at the picture. Even after a healthy day, your body needs rest to repair itself. Most kids need about 10 hours of sleep a day. Good rest ends a full day of healthy habits. So, I was just able to learn all about sleep and sleep health by looking at the table of contents. Pretty cool, right? Right. Do you think that this book might have more information on sleeping? Where do you think I might find that information? Right? The index. And where is the index? All the way at the back of the book. Right. So, fun facts, glossary, read more, internet says up, index. So here's our index. And so now I'm going to look for sleep. Sleep. Ooh, sleeping comes on page 4, 18, and 21. So let's look. On page 4, it says, a healthy day. Our bodies need things every day to stay healthy. The right foods, enough sleep, and exercise are all important. So it mentions sleep on this page, so it was on that page in the index. And we read page 18 already, that's the chapter, and then the next page is 21. And it says, people spend about 1/3 of their life sleeping. Did you know that? That you spend that much time sleeping? Dreams happen during rapid eye movement sleep. During this time, our eyes dart back and forth under our eyelids. Pretty cool information about sleeping, right? And we learned that from looking in the index and finding pages where it lists sleep or talks about sleep and why sleep is important. So when we're learning about new things, we can learn about what we're going to be reading in a nonfiction book by looking at the table of contents and also by looking at the back in the index. So table of contents and the index are very important text features of a nonfiction book that you really need to know how to use. So we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the other things that we might need to look at in a nonfiction book, other text features that will help us. So I want you guys to look at this book. This is called I See a Kookaburra. I See a Kookaburra. And when I read this, it's about different animal habitats that different animals live in. So it's about different animals that you might see in different places around the world. So I'm going to look. And already I notice there is no table of contents. So maybe I should go to the back and see maybe there's an index. Oh, no, it doesn't look like an index, but there's extra information back here. So there's some animals, and it gives us some information about the animals. But what's cool about this one, and it's kind of hard to see, but it tells you what kind of animals live in different kinds of places. So these animals right here live in a pond. These animals live in the forest. These animals live in the savanna, a tide pool, a jungle, and that's it. So that's the only information that's extra, that's a text feature that we've been talking about, because all the rest of it is just the book. And it talks about where the animals live. And there are some, it's kind of hard to see, but there are some bold words, which we've talked about. Bold words are important words in a text, but there's no glossary in here either. It doesn't tell you anything about these words. So this is just information for you to look into later on. So right here, it says, on the savanna I see, and it says the savanna or grassland is in Central Africa. So here's the pictures. And then it lists all these different animals. So let's say I want to learn about the rhinoceros. It says a nearsighted rhinoceros who is able to charge at 30 miles per hour. Well, I know that back here is a bunch of information about the animals. And I know that the rhinoceros lives in the savanna because I just read that. So I'm going to come back here to where it says savanna, and then I'm going to find the rhinoceros. And it says there are 2 different kinds of rhinoceros in Africa. Both are endangered. The white rhino is really a dark gray color. It is more common than its critically endangered relative, the black rhinoceros. These rhinos are hunted for their horns, which some people mistakenly believe contain powerful medicine. The rhinoceros is the 2nd largest land animal. The elephant is bigger, measuring up to 13 feet in length and weighing 5,000 pounds, as much as a pickup truck. Despite their size and weight, these plant-eating animals are agile and charged to defend themselves if they are approached. Rhinos like to roll in the mud, which helps protect their tough-looking but sensitive skin from insects and sunburn. So this book, I See a Kookaburra, doesn't have a table of contents, it doesn't have an index, but it kind of has an index because it has this information about all these animals. But it's not really an index because it doesn't tell you what page you can find them on. But it has additional reading, which is basically what that is. So that's another way that we can find information in nonfiction books that we're looking at. And the other thing I want to talk about is this book, What We Wear. Now, What We Wear is about different clothes that kids all over the world wear. So it goes right into the story too. There's no table of contents here. And there's not really a whole lot of words in this book either. It's just really what kind of clothes and where the kids are living. So let's look at the back and see what we have back here. Okay, so back to the back. So it says back here, the children in this book come from all over the world. And so they're highlighted. They highlighted the places where all the kids in the story come from. Tons of countries. Russia and China, India, South Africa, Ethiopia, Brazil, the USA, Sweden, Finland, tons of countries in here. And then it gives you a list of different ways that you could discover different cultures and learn about different cultures from yours. You can learn about your heritage, you can pretend, you can visit a folk festival, all these cool ideas to learn all about different cultures. So again, no index in this one, but I can learn about different places and different things by doing this additional reading at the end. So nonfiction books are full of information. We know that. That's what nonfiction books are. They're books about things that you can learn about. So we can use the table of contents to find information, more information. We can use the index to help us find more information. We can look at the back of the book and see what additional reading they have to help us. So nonfiction books are full of information, and you guys just learned how to find that information. So give yourselves a pat on the back because you're awesome. And this is a really hard skill for kindergartners. You guys are rock stars, and I hope you have a fantastic day.